This thicket that I'm walking the edge of is just nasty. It's all multiflora rose. There's not even room to walk in there without getting cut up and bloody. Every year I crawl through it 1 or 2 times, and I've only ever found some real small sheds in there. So it's one of those thickets that I think is too thick for bucks to use outside of when does are holed up in there during the rut. Because we had amazing trail camera activity in and around this area during the rut. But are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh my god. A guy recording a guy recording a guy.
I'm just learning.
Oh dear. It's hot, bro.
It's hot. Pretty sure I got sunburn.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting the accessory pouches so I can put my full gamut of equipment in the bino harness. But it should work for me this year. I'll be able to give a little bit of an update come fall when I use it a lot more in actual hunting situations.
Interior jacket. So the vest itself has pockets. Alright guys, here I am. Here's the bear. I'll open it up. This is how it comes in the mail. Oh yeah. Different layers and we'll see how it goes. And Dad's buck is down. I got the sheds back at the house that I'm gonna have to go get.
Well, all right guys, Caleb Simon here. In the deer shop, doing another SBO product review. This is actually our first review with the Hollyland lapel mics. It's a new product we've been trying out. We did the Open Seasons Expo interviews using them. They worked out really well. Isaac used them for some of his Western stuff last year. It makes the audio quality here in the shop, which has really bad acoustics, a little bit better for us. Today, I am reviewing the Striver Gear Quick Release Bino Harness. I was sent this harness by the company to do a review on it this spring. It retails for $169.99. A little bit heavy on the price point. We'll start off with that right off the rip. A little bit heavy on the price point. We use a lot of the marsupials, and they're about $130 brand new, so a little bit more expensive. But this binocular harness advertises itself as a quick release for Western hunting. So if you are doing Western hunting, prone shooting, maybe even some archery stuff, and you don't like shooting with your bino harness on, this one has the ability to disconnect the pouch really quick. I'm not going to take it all the way off because I want to keep it together, but you can disconnect the pouch really quick and it will, you just toss it out of the way, still have your harness on. There's been a couple of different reviews of these online recently. A lot of guys are, the first thing they'll say is, well, what do we need to do that for? And it's definitely not a game changer in the industry by any means. It's not going to change the way things are done. All these other bino harnesses aren't going to, redo their design because of that quick release ability. I mentioned Western hunting. It's good for that. Prone shooting particularly, maybe shedding weight if you're doing a stalk on an animal, which you probably still need your binoculars for that, but that's up to you. But another advantage I see for it, and something that I would use around here more often, is when I'm hunting in a blind, either late season or early turkey season when it's still pretty cold, late deer season, and I want to put on new layers. I want to add a coat or I want to add a vest. When you have your bino harness on, it's a lot of movement to take it off, set it somewhere, put your new layer on, put it back on. With this system, you can just disconnect your pouch, throw it off to the side, set it on a shelf, hang it from your backpack, put it by your camera arm, hang it from the tree. It's got some clips on the back here you could use for that. Get it out of the way, throw your new layer on, you're good to go. The downside of that is then you'd have to put this in a backpack to carry it out, or unzip, put it back on to walk out of the woods at the end of the day. You'll see me referencing my notes over here, so you see me look to the side just because I'm using my laptop here. I did use this for a while this year during shed hunting season. I wore it for most of shed season, and I will say right off the rip, it was built pretty well and it was comfortable. There wasn't any times where I was wearing this bino harness where it was just bothering me. It was in the way. It had no type of weird rubbing or anything like that. So it was very comfortable to wear. I didn't use the disconnect feature very much. I just didn't have a reason to during shed season. That's something that, someone who is hunting more in a Western situation, or like the things I mentioned, using a blind late season, they'll be able to get to that a little bit more than I was. I left it attached the whole season. I put in, I think, officially right under 40 miles of shed hunting. I did 12 to 13, 14 walks somewhere in there and did around 40 miles. So I probably wore this for, I would say, 25 to 30 of those 40. So I did wear it for a long time. Let's see here. I do enjoy the color. This is the only color that they have it in. They call it the Coyote Black. It doesn't come in all the different camo versions. We have marsupials in a whole bunch of different camo versions. If aesthetics is something that you're into, a neutral bino harness like this, and it looks a lot like the Vortex bino harness. I had Isaac bring one of these out for me. It looks a lot like that color-wise. These neutral harnesses look good on, you know, camo or plain. They can mix well with anything. When you have a camo harness like this marsupial, if aesthetics is something you're into, especially if you're filming your hunts, if you're watching YouTube right now, at least you pay attention to some hunts that are filmed, and then you're clashing your different camo patterns. That drives some guys nuts. So I do enjoy the colors. I do enjoy the way that the binoculars are secured. This quick release flap, very similar to the marsupial. That you can just get in there, access your binoculars, leave it open. The flap's not in the way. You know, the Vortex, these cheaper Vortex ones, you can't be sitting in the tree like this. The flap gets in the way. There's no quick release for the actual binoculars. This one's pretty good. It's very easy to move. I moved it up and down a ton of times this year, glassing for sheds, didn't break anything. The design is pretty cool. It doesn't seem like it's quite as weatherproof as the marsupial because it's not fully encompassing. I guess theoretically a little bit of weather could get in the back here. I didn't use it in a lot of rain, but it still worked pretty good. The only downsides that I've seen to this harness after using it, for one, the front pouch is divided. And I don't like that, so it's not one big pouch in the front here. There's this divider line. So if you want to put something big in that front pouch, like a cell phone or what have you, it's not going to work for that. The side pouches are good, just like the marsupial. It has the elastic side pouch. I will say that this material that it uses for these exterior pouches does not appear to be waterproof or very tough. So if you're throwing a Leatherman tool, I always carry a Leatherman tool in mine. If you're throwing a Leatherman tool in here a lot, or a knife or something that might be sharp and have a sharp edge, I would be worried that you would kind of poke through this soft material, which would be a little bit of a problem. It does expand well, so you can put a lot of stuff in there. I would like to have seen more of a canvas like the marsupial here has, to kind of just keep your stuff, your gear in place better. It does have a good sized back pouch for your, this is where you would put either your cell phone, or I know Isaac, when he does his Western hunting, he puts a little revolver in the back. Your personal protection weapon would fit in there. But it's this elastic, stretchy material, so if it's something too heavy, it could pop through or wear it down, which would kind of be a problem. Those are the only things that I saw, and there was one other, you know, doing all that walking this year, I walked around with my with the flap open a lot so I could grab my binoculars, look through fields and stuff. And I did notice on more than one occasion, when I'd be going through thickets and bend over, the binoculars would just slide out. This material here is pretty slick, and my binoculars might not be the perfect fit for the size. These are Vortex 10x42 Vipers. For whatever reason, when I'm using the marsupial and that same situation happens, it seems to hold the binoculars in better. I don't know if it's because the material is just a little bit more abrasive. Obviously, the size of the pouch is going to matter and be part of that issue. So it's not necessarily the product's fault that happens, but there was more than one occasion, you can see some mud on my binoculars, where I dip down under a branch and my binoculars would just slide out. And that kind of pissed me off a little bit, but that's user error. It's not designed to be walking around with this open, but when you're shed hunting or doing a lot of glassing, you're going to want to keep it open. You're not going to open this flap every single time, especially when the weather's good. There is no accessories on this one, such as the marsupial with the rangefinder pouch and the accessory pouch, but the company is working on them. He said they would send some our way when they got a chance. They just don't have them out yet. But you'll be able to get a holster. I looked on their website. You'll be able to get a holster for the back for a gun, which would actually solve this elastic problem. There's a rangefinder. There's an accessory pouch. The one thing that I will say is kind of weird, and also these clips are really fast. They work pretty good, and they're pretty high quality. They haven't broke yet. A little bit bulky, but they're not really in the way. One thing I did notice that was a little bit weird, now that I'm holding this, that I remember, the strap, when you go to connect around your side, this clip is in the back, which is kind of different than what I'm used to with some of these other ones. It's not a game changer by any means, but with this quick release plate on the front, they have the strap for the actual binoculars in the back. And when you're doing it in the dark, or you're trying to do it blind, it's kind of hard to find. It's not easy to just grab the latch and clip it in. Those are just those little nuances that you notice when you use a product for a while. But overall, I do like it. I'm going to use it during archery season, especially when I like to change up my look a little bit. It's one of those aesthetics things again. The normal person, the average hunter, probably doesn't care about the quick detach, probably doesn't care about the aesthetics, and the price point's going to scare them away. But for someone like me, I'm on camera a lot hunting. I'm going to be in front of the camera hunting 30, 40 times in the fall. I want to change my look up a little bit from time to time. Having multiple harnesses helps that. I will use this one. I will test it out in the rain hunting this fall just to see how it does. It's going to be in my pack, and I'm going to swap it out with my other bino harnesses. I'm not married to any one company ever, so it doesn't bother me to switch things up from time to time. I'm looking forward to getting the accessory pouches so I can put my full gamut of equipment in the bino harness. But it should work for me this year. I'll be able to give a little bit of an update come fall when I use it a lot more in actual hunting situations. The harness, as you can see the back here, soft and padded, just like some of the other higher quality ones. Shouldn't cause you any problems to wear this thing all day long. They put together a pretty good product here. I do enjoy it. Like I said, I don't know if I would spend the $170. That's the MSRP on their website. I'm sure they run deals and there's other places you can find them for cheaper, but that's the listed MSRP price. That's the biggest downside that I see to this thing. Otherwise, it's a good bino harness. It'll do what you need it to do, especially if you're into the Western thing and you want the ability to remove your pouch quickly. This one's going to be the one for you. Thank you for watching this review, guys. I hope it wasn't too monotonous just being in here in the shop. I'll show you some clips of me wearing this while we're shed hunting. Be safe out there in the woods. Enjoy yourself. Deer Shop's out.